running?
Yes, it's running.
Audio
great.
technical
Yay!
difficulties. We're really starting this out in a good note.
There's nothing like fighting with your spouse to start a podcast about relationships and how to like each other after kids. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Do you still have time to record a podcast?
I do. I was just telling Annalee that every time we do one of these, I'm like, all right, you let me know when you're ready. I'll come in a couple minutes before. We'll go through the agenda real quick and we'll hit the ground running. And every time it's 30 minutes later, I'm like, what is going on? And I know you had audio issues this time, which were really bad. So I'm glad we checked them because the last couple times I think you've been upset after the episode.
Yes. There's been things wrong with the audio the last 2 times. And the last 2 times I've tested it beforehand and then I listened to it back and I'm like, oh my God. And it's not terrible, except that one test we just did was like really bad. It sounded like aliens speaking.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I know that your time is valuable and I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this. I know it's my passion project, not your passion project. I got another podcast review from a dad who said, I'm a dad and I listen. So it's not just like you talking to like a bunch of hens, you know? There's dads. And he said
what
he
sound do
knew
hen
me.
makes? I was going to say squawk, 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 squawk. But
Yeah, that's me all the time. But that guy said he knew me in college. I don't know who it is because it didn't say in the review.
Knew the back of your head.
Shut the fuck up.
You got to cut that.
No, I'm not going to cut that now. And you just have to live with that in the podcast.
All right.
I can't believe you just said that.
It's a funny joke.
It is a funny joke. Okay.
So do we have to do the welcome?
Oh, go ahead.
Welcome back to Riding Along the Waves.
You remembered the name. I'm very proud of you. I'm Annalee with my wonderful husband, Ethan.
Just out of curiosity, do you ever like 15 minutes want to pause it, process it, and make sure it's good? So you wouldn't lose like a whole hour?
Do you want me to do that?
I absolutely do not want you to do that. But being an engineer, I'm trying to like problem solve because
like QC it.
I know if we do, the whole 50 minutes or whatever and it's garbage, then it's like we have to redo it, which is fine. We just do it in the evenings or something. The hardest thing is talking about the same things you just talked about like a day ago because it's just weird, right? Like rehashing everything for an hour that you just talked about a day ago.
Well, I think I can do it because I'm used to having to refilm videos or stories. Like if I mess up an ad, I have to redo it.
Oh, it drives me nuts. It's like when you're in a spreadsheet or in a Word doc and you crank for like an hour.
Yeah. Something
happens, it shuts down, your computer shuts, I don't know what it is, then you go to open it, it's lost and you're so mad.
I think that's a pretty universal human experience.
That you're like, I just lost an hour of my life and now I have to redo everything.
Yeah. No, that's pretty shitty.
I hate that.
So I hope you don't feel like that. Doing this with me. Did you read any of the engineering facts I sent you last night?
I did not.
Oh, man. You know what?
I was watching the Avalanche lose again.
At least you didn't stay up late. Well,
no.
we can talk about how our week's been. I think it's been pretty, normal. But then I thought every episode for the last 10 weeks, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have engineering fact of the day. Because we're both engineers. Like we should have something engineering to talk about, I've
been doing steel pipe calc reviews for the last 2 days. I'm sure I could whip something up later on.
If we're lucky enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I sent you like cool engineering facts yesterday, but
nice.
That's fine. I see you don't check your text messages for me, so.
Well, we start with recapping the week. Isn't that like our agenda?
I know. So here's the thing. We're going to recap. I don't think we have anything too crazy or exciting to talk about. Probably there's some big fight we had in there, I'm sure. And then
Bluey.
Yeah, we went to go see Bluey live. We can talk about that. And then what was I going to say? Oh, my brain's not working after that 30 minutes of tech support as someone who does not do audio and video engineering to try to figure it out. My brain.
We're just like plugging cords in and out thinking that's just going to fix it.
I'm like, maybe if I move this knob.
Just blindly just turning stuff. No,
well, you got to do one independent variable on the DV, right? So you got the effective IV on DV. We were doing hypotheses over here, so.
Yep. So recap the week.
Did you do a science experiment in 5th grade?
I'm pretty sure I did. I know I did. I just don't know what the experiment was.
You don't remember?
I want to say it was maybe a volcano, but I feel like that's just like the default you see in like in TVs
Yeah.
and movies.
Yeah, that was a random question I was just asking because I always remember like the like IV on DV. Mine was the effect of exercise on something, but I can't remember what my dependent variable was.
Was it like on mice on a wheel in a cage?
Yes. on my wiener dogs. No, I don't know. I honestly can't remember. That's gonna drive me crazy. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, recap. Should we just rename this like the ADD podcast?
Yeah.
And then I also did a Q&A on Instagram. I haven't been on Instagram much the last couple days, but I posted like we're going to be recording. So if anyone has any topics or questions, and there's a whole bunch in there. So maybe I screenshot it and send you a few, but I can scroll through too.
I saw one you sent me.
You don't check my text messages.
No, I did, but I click on it.
What would you do if I was sending you like a titty pic?
Oh, okay. I have to scroll through it. No wonder when you send me 10 and I'm like, you only sent me one. You're like, no, there's 10. I got to scroll. All right. I got it.
And then I think for our home birth, because it's taken us weeks, and every time we sit down and we just start talking, and then before we know it, it's been 45 minutes, and Ethan doesn't have the bandwidth to like talk another 30 minutes. So I think we should do like a little like why Ethan loves home birth segment, like just to get your perspective. And then I can share for the 5 people who want to listen to the birth story.
I like that. Good problem.
Because it's going to be me talking.
Agreed. And so I'm happy to sit here for 30, 40 minutes and chime in here and there. But yeah, it's both. It's your story, your journey. But anyways, recapping the week.
It's our story.
Well, I know. Recapping the week.
Are we talking about the week or the weekend?
Just the week, which includes the weekend. It's like you go into a meeting with an agenda. And like you don't even get through like introductions before someone's jumping to like the 6th bullet point on the agenda. About me? Well, I like, once we get into it and recapping the week, then it kind of flows off of that. But I'm always so anxious to just like get to our first agenda item, which is recapping. But I feel like that's a good way to kick it off,
No, you're right.
The chair.
And there's nothing worse than an agenda hopper when you have laid out the agenda for a meeting. So I'd like to
It's on the screen. Everyone can see it.
And they're trying to be smart and trying to look. They're like, actually, I'd like you to touch on the, I don't know, the flow rates and what's allowable flow rate.
You mean agenda number item 10 you see right here? Yeah, we'll get to that about 40 minutes in.
And you always have to say like, oh, you're beating me. Don't beat me. I'm going to get there.
No, it's just part of it. At some point you just got to let it happen.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's try to do engineering corner because I have a fact now.
Okay. The week was good. It was a busy weekend. I think a little bit busier than we typically like it. I think
we had a great weekend.
We did have a great weekend, but I think our preference is one busy day and then one kind of chill day.
Correct.
Because when you have things planned both days and you're just on the go, before you know it, it's Sunday night.
Yeah.
And you haven't got anything you've wanted to get done on like your personal list and you're tired.
Yeah.
But it was a good weekend.
You're always going to be tired.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, we did the Bluey concert.
It was like the Bluey live show.
The Bluey live show at downtown Denver, which was cool.
Yeah. I am the biggest Bluey fan. Maybe not the biggest, that's a lie, but I will go hard for Bluey. But it was just because we were sitting on the upper level, not the lower level, so the girls didn't get like to play with the bubbles,
Now you're already going to the end of the show? We didn't even recap the show.
We're not going to recap the show.
And you're jumping to the end?
We're not going to recap the show.
I thought the show was good in the sense the production was cool.
Yeah. How
they did the characters with the real people was well done. How they moved around, the stage props.
It was cool to watch.
But they told one story, and the story just wasn't a good story. And I don't think we want to be spoilers, right?
No. And I don't think anyone wants to listen to us recap an entire Bluey episode. It just wasn't. The story that they choose to share would be one that I like. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, but it's not like Sleepy Time or Baby Race.
It was a new story, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah, which was nice that it was a new story.
And there was like a sweet, cute ending.
There
was
was
cute at the end.
Good point, but it just wasn't a great story, and it was good that it was fairly short, but also kind of the cost of it when you go there.
We spent
tickets, you buy a stuffy or two, you have a drink or two. And I mean, it's like 30 minutes of actual production, and then they stretch it out to an hour.
Which is fine with kids.
Yeah, but then going to the end, which now I want to get to the end, it was cool at the end. They threw out what's the game called? Uppity?
Keepy Uppy, yeah.
Keepy Uppy, which all the kids know and love with the balloons. So they threw out these huge balloon things that are like 3 feet in diameter, but only the people on the lower level got to do it. So we were like on the next level up on the balcony, and our kids are just so sad and crying and they don't understand. And I was going to take them and run down there, but I knew as soon as I got down there, they were probably going to be packing up, which they were.
Well,
so it was going to be even worse. If you would have left
immediately, you could have got down there. But we sat there watching it for a few minutes, and I was thinking about it. And of course, they can't have those on the balcony. That's a liability. Someone's going to go after Keepy Uppy and fall off the side of the balcony. Yeah, that's dangerous off the second floor of the theater.
Great. It was a really cool idea. But yeah, the girls were really sad that they didn't get to play with them. And so we should get them a glow in the dark balloon somehow.
We should get them one of those big ones. Like the 3 feet ones?
That one was way too big. That was like crushing kids. Like parents were like having to like keep their hand up because they're, like a balloon's much better.
It was like a giant blow up ball. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
That's kind of it for the weekend, right?
No, but it was a great weekend. We rode the light rail down.
Oh, that's right. They loved it.
Yeah, the girls it's like a big, they're like so excited to get on the train. So we rode the train into downtown and they did great.
Yeah.
We took my dad.
Yep. They've been asking to ride a train for I don't know how long.
I know. They're like, every time we go downtown, we have to ride a train. I'm like, we never go downtown, but sure.
It was kind of nice. There was no parking. It stops close to the event.
We should do that again. I think they do. I don't know. I'll look.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was Mother's Day this weekend.
Oh, yeah. That was nice.
I posted, I think I was on Saturday before I took a couple of days off from Instagram. And I posted, because I had the girls solo Saturday, and we went out to Chick-fil-A just because it's a place that they can go run and play, eat and get some energy
easy
out.
Place to take the kids for an hour.
Yeah. Even though I'd be fine if I never ate there again. And then we went to Michael's so they could get crafts to make like Mother's Day crafts for Grandma and Coco. And then we were going to go to Target because my 3-year-old needs new pants. Like every single pair of pants has holes in it or doesn't fit. But after Michael's, they were both like done. So we didn't make it to Target. I just like to have a conversation with whoever at Michael's put stuffed animals right by the checkout line.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Their marketing person, I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyways, I posted saying you were golfing and I had the girls solo. And I only got a few messages, but I got a couple of people being like, he's golfing on Mother's Day weekend? How dare he?
Well, it's actually just Mother's Day. It's not Mother's Day weekend.
No.
So
take that back.
Mother's Day is on Sunday. And you got, I treated you to something a couple weeks ago. For
no,
Mother's
I know.
Day.
I just think it's funny. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
No, I know that I wouldn't have let you, and I'm not saying let you as if I'm in control of you, but I wouldn't have agreed for you to go golfing if I felt slighted in the slightest,
Agreed.
Yeah. It's like, if you think this guy is golfing when I don't want him to golf, then.
That's true. I mean, we talk. It's not like I'm just like, hey, see, I'm going golfing, be home in 6 hours.
You've always been very respectful. And I think a lot of husbands and dads aren't.
Thank you. Well, it's not very much fun to go golfing if your wife's mad at you. It's hard. It's hard enough. I mean, the last thing you need is like feeling guilt because like you shouldn't be golfing or like mad because you and your wife were in a fight. Like if you're going to go golfing, like you want to go like that mind's got to be clear because you're still going to suck.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I try to never like text or call you when you're golfing because that's your time. And I have it's so funny. I feel like I've picked up on little distinct things that you've said to me like in the beginning of our relationship that I've held on to for the last 12 years. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
In the very, very beginning of our relationship, you were talking about one of your exes and you were like, yeah, she'd always be hounding me when I was just trying to golf. And this is like before kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like just someone you were dating for a long time. But you'd be like, yeah, she'd like call or text and it'd be over stuff that could have waited till after golf.
I don't remember any of this.
You said, yeah. And like I'm talking first couple of months of us dating. And that was back when you're as a woman, you're like, your brain's like working overtime and you're getting all these little facts and you're like saving them for later. So how I can make you fall in love with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, note to self. He doesn't want to be harassed when he golfs.
Well, I don't think anyone does.
I know it's common sense.
But there's always that guy. And now I think with technology and the wrist phone watchy thingies and everything else, there's always the guy that like has to take a phone call or like is always like checking his wrist for his like messages or like is always on his phone and to each their own. But also, like, if I'm riding next to you or you're in my group, like that annoys me. It's like, put your phone down.
Yeah.
Like, just disconnect. Like, I check my phone probably 4 or 5 times, or if I'm in a car, I'll look at it. But I know that if you text me or something comes up that, like, I can respond in 30 minutes or an hour, or if I forget till the round's over, like, you're not going to be like, well, why didn't you respond? You know? And so I don't know. Well, but look at your dad. I don't think he even has his phone on him when he golfs. I think he leaves it in his car or something, right?
I think it's probably in his bag, right?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. Well, I try to be respectful, and let you go have some Zen time.
I appreciate that.
There was something else that I just thought of back to when you're first dating a guy and you're like, oh, I see you like, I don't know, red licorice. Okay, great. And then like you file that away and save it for later. You told me in the very beginning that I don't know how you said it. You had just gotten out of a relationship, whatever. And you told me that you really admired your friend, I think it was Tyler and Lauren, and their relationship, because you're like, they can go to parties and like they don't have to talk to each other the whole time. Like they can go mingle and do other stuff.
Go to a social event and not be like connected at the hip.
Yeah, which I'm a very needy. I would just glom onto you and like just piggyback around a party if I could.
Very true.
And like as a little monkey. But you were like, no, like I think it's really cool when you are secure and confident in a relationship where you can go mingle and then come back together.
Yeah.
And like not just be glued at the hip the entire time, because I think that had happened to you in previous relationships. So one of our first like nights out as a couple, we went to the Grizzly Rose in Denver. Do you remember who was playing? Was it Josh Abbott Band?
I think it might have been. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so fun. But I was like, okay, I'm going to ignore Ethan.
Just ignore him, not talk to him, do nothing for like 3 hours.
I was trying to be independent. I was trying to show you that I didn't have to be.
Oh, so young.
So young and naive. So I was like, yeah, I'll be right back, babe. I'm going to go dance with this cowboy, Yeah.
And at first it was fine, but I think it got to the point where like other people were leaving and there was just a few of us. And I'm just like drinking by myself at the bar being like, well, this isn't very much fun.
Yeah.
And
we got home and you were like, what the fuck, Annalee?
Yeah, I was like, you just left me the whole night.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was funny.
And now I've swung back the opposite direction.
I think it's different when you've been married for 12 years or when you've been married for 7 years or whatever. I mean, but also like when we go to events, like it just depends. But like we're very independent. Sometimes you hang around me or sometimes you go talk to friends.
Well, I think kids don't give you the choice, right?
That's true.
Now that we have kids, it's like you're chasing one and I'm chasing the other, and then I'll see you at the end of the night.
Yeah, very true.
It's what makes like family gatherings.
I don't know. I still feel like you still see those some couples and those some people.
I know exactly who you're talking about, by the way.
But no, I could think of probably like 5 off the top of my head where it's like they won't leave each other's side. It's like they move around in like packs, and it's just like, if they go to the bathroom or someone wants to like go get a soda or go talk to like, you can separate. Right. But I mean, hey, if it works for them,
it's called being in love, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think I don't think anything else happened over the weekend. Mother's Day, you let me sleep in, or I asked to sleep in. I took a
little nap that afternoon.
And yeah, I think it was a fine weekend. I'm excited. I don't think this weekend we have anything. Actually,
we got Casa Bonita Friday.
We're going to Casa Bonita on Friday, which if you're in Denver, it's this massive restaurant that I went when I was a kid. Did you go when you were a kid?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been around for probably 30, 40 years,
how would you
maybe
describe
longer.
It's like a Mexican restaurant, but they have cliff diving inside. But it's like, growing up, it was like the grossest food.
Well, they got like cliff diving and arcade. They have like, they do like piñatas. They have like a monkey guy dressed up in a monkey running around. You can like, there's an area where you can like get your old fashioned photo taken.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah, there's like little hidden like in the lower level. There's like little hidden like caves.
I remember the caves that you could walk around.
And it's all fake because it's off Colfax in downtown Denver. But yeah, I mean, I think when I was real young, I never noticed the food being bad, because it's like, how bad can a cheese enchilada be? And
I never noticed as a kid.
It was all you can eat sopapillas, right?
Yeah, I just got quesadillas.
You just raise the red flag, and every time they bring you like another plate of sopapillas, which were pretty good actually, and with honey. But I went at one point when I was an adult, and this is probably still 15 years ago or whatever, and I was like, this is awful.
Like you couldn't even eat it? It
was so bad.
It's like cafeteria food. But Trey Parker and Matt Stone bought it, right?
Yeah.
The creators of South Park, who went to my high school.
Oh yeah, I always forget that.
Anyways, they put a lot of like millions of dollars into
A
it.
ton of money into
Yeah.
it.
So now it's so packed and hard to get into that you have to sign up for a lottery to make a reservation. So Alex, our friend in the Springs, she got it. And so she invited us. So we're going to go Friday, and then we have Friday lunch at Casa Bonita, Friday dinner out.
Yeah, we got some family in town, which will be nice. So got
Yeah, you'll
dinner
hear
that
us
night.
talking about how a restaurant went. And then I don't think we have any plans over the weekend,
No,
right?
I want to do
Okay.
some yard work, just hang out, play with the kids.
Yeah, well, yeah. We got to get ready for our concert that we're
Gymnastics.
having.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do have gymnastics.
We start adding up what we have on the weekend. Like, wow, it's kind of busy.
Yeah, we're like, wait a minute. Let's not make any other plans.
Agreed. No other plans. It's like 2 days is not enough on the weekends to do everything you need to
No.
do once you have kids.
Even before, well, that's a lie, before kids, but yeah.
Before kids, yeah, no excuse. But now that you have kids, it's like trying to find the 3 hours to get in the yard to do the spring cleanup is like impossible to find.
Yeah, you almost need, Friday should be, you have childcare, but you don't have to work. Because then you could do laundry, dishes,
Yard
prep
work.
food. Yeah, yard work. You could go run errands and then really like have Saturday, Sunday.
The reality is I just play golf.
Totally.
But then I'd still have Saturday and Sunday. But it's funny because let's talk about this a little bit. I mean, between Friday night doesn't even really count, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Friday night goes by so quick.
Oh, by the time you get home.
Yeah. Friday night does not count as the weekend. So
No,
I
and
feel like Sunday night does, but Friday night doesn't.
Yeah, I agree.
But like for us, Saturday, get up, we try to hit the gym, rotate gymnastics. Once all that's done, it's afternoon. It's after
Right.
12, and so then it's like, okay, lunchtime, playtime, and all of that, which is nice. And then Sunday, same thing. If you're both trying to get to the gym and rotate kids, I mean, before you know it, like the morning shift's done and it's 11 or 12.
Right.
And then it's crazy. So then if you want to run errands or you have plans or you want to do like yard work, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It
flies.
flies.
And
It's
we're
just
not
done.
even in kid activity time of our life.
Yeah,
And I'm absolutely dreading that.
I am too.
I think we all like need to agree as a generation to only put our kids in rec league. And like, can we just all agree not to do club sports or at least not club travel? Like,
Ugh.
and just do like, if we can all agree and start a movement, because I played club volleyball. I played competitive. I think we only traveled maybe like twice a year, like to 2 big tournaments, you know, not like every weekend.
And they were probably like local tournaments or at least like a state away.
Well, Crossroads was here for volleyball, but I think we went to like Minnesota
Oh, that's a pretty long
or like
haul.
Missouri for one, like
Okay.
Idaho.
Yeah.
It was like a big weekend trip, but it was
Yeah.
like as a club, you'd pick 1 or 2 to go to. We did go to the Junior Olympics one year, but I don't even remember where that was.
But I feel like now with sports, they travel every weekend. And it's like, oh, tournament in California, tournament in Dallas.
No, it's insane. And
it's-
people are like, well, it's like an excuse to travel. It's like, no, I don't. I want to travel elsewhere with my family. Maybe we'll feel different when our kids are bigger, but
I don't
it's like,
know.
I think let's just all agree. Unless you are like gung-ho on your kid playing in college, which if that is your journey, great.
You get into club sports and you get into these sports where like you're constantly traveling and having to take your kids to different practices and events. It's like, how are you supposed to have 2 working parents and do that?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you have to fly out.
I feel like that with kids in school in general.
Yeah. But like once you start traveling on the weekends or you have a bunch of practices, at least we pick our kids up now and we go to the park or we come home and bike. It's like we don't have to like take one kid this way, one kid that way,
Ugh.
pick this kid up, like try to fit dinner in there. And then it's like, I can't even imagine. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like stressing myself out
I
thinking
know,
about it.
I know. That's how I think about so I think when I think about whether or not we're going to have another kid, it's like, at least now, if they do both want to play sports, we can divide and conquer. But with 3 kids, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I mean, how can you? I remember talking to my cousin Jamie about it because she has 3 kids, and I've always like looked up to her. I think she was the very first person I called when I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I was so afraid, like so scared when I found out I was pregnant. And they have 3 kids, and I talked to her about it. And the only way they make it work is they have their mom, like Lenny,
Oh, yeah.
who will take a kid on the weekend to different sports.
Because they got 3 kids. One parent can only go with 1 kid.
I know. Yeah, or you have one kid that like hates sports, but then maybe they're into music and that's expensive, you know?
They hate sports, so then you just drag them around every weekend to watch their kids' sports. Oh, God.
Their siblings.
Yeah, that poor
Look at your
kid.
sister playing soccer.
Not only do you hate playing it, but now you have to watch it.
No, we would never do that, by the way.
I don't. But then it's hard because then you're just dividing and conquering.
I know. I'm stressing
all the
myself
time.
out. Let's talk about something else.
Some dad called me about T-ball yesterday, and it's kind of piggybacks on this conversation. I mean, in a nice way, he wants his kid to play, wants his kid on the team, his friends on the team. You know, it's just getting going. We haven't had any practices yet. And not in a mean way, but he's like drilling me with all these questions, like what days are games, what times are games, how long are they, when are practices, this, that, and more or less because they have another kid or kids. I don't know how many,
like different schedules.
But he's like, yeah, we're just trying to figure out like if we can make it work. And like in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, I get it, but like that's really sad. This is 5-year-old T-ball. Like, you shouldn't have to be like in your head like trying to figure out how you can make it work. But maybe
if you have a 12-year-old who's in competitive, soccer.
Yeah, they got 6-hour practice 8 days a week.
Are you serious? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had that with volleyball. We had 2-a-days during summer, but I was old enough where I could drive myself.
I think it's different once you can drive yourself because then
we're never gonna see our kids. Okay, we gotta stop talking about it. Now I'm actually gonna get really upset.
So let's enjoy.
Let's talk about something else.
We'll just enjoy the journey, right? Where we're at with our kids now.
I love this age.
I do too.
They are so hard and so emotional, right? But I think it's really been hitting you hard lately. How cute they are.
It is cute. All right, are we moving on?
Sure. What did I write in there?
Mom rage.
Oh,
remember you were saying like Dr. Phil reached out to you, and I know who Dr. Phil is, but for some reason in my head I thought it was like Jerry Springer, but I know the difference.
You are the father of the baby show.
Well, no, I think it's a serious show. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't watch it, but in my head I thought it was like this joke kind of show that's like midday TV,
like Maury or whatever.
Trash. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I know it's not, but that's what popped in my head immediately, and I don't know. But anyways, they wanted you to come on to talk about mom rage, and I was like, "What is mom rage?"
Yeah, you know what mom rage is. Or are you just saying that for the podcast?
Well, I kind of do.
Okay. Well, first let me tell you about Dr. Phil, and then maybe we can talk about mom rage really quick. So a caster for Dr. Phil reached out to me, and I've been like Drew Barrymore show reached out once. And I thought I was going to get a go on, but then they just used my video, which is still really cool. The, what's the other morning show I'm on? The
Jerry Springer?
Before you. Whose baby is it? We were going to be on. No. The Tamra Hall show, they were going to book me to come and talk about, I think it was just talk about like gentle parenting. And we had like a date. We were looking to do it, and then they canceled because they found someone like way cooler. It was someone who had like adopted 6. They were talking about parents and like their different journeys, and it was someone who had adopted 6 kids. And I was like, okay, like that's a cooler. You deserve. Yeah, you can go. And then this was a DM from someone who was casting for Dr. Phil's primetime show, his nighttime show, and the first message I got was just like, hey, we're looking for someone to come and talk to Dr. Phil about mom rage. And I was like, wow, like what a cool opportunity. I love talking about mom rage. It's something that I suffered with that I had no idea I was going to suffer with. And I didn't know, it like blindsided me. I didn't know it was a thing. I'd really like to have that opportunity. But then I was talking to her more about it. And she's like, the entire show will be about why Americans are getting angrier. Like in general. And I was like something about that. I was like, I don't know if I want to be the person to go on there to talk about. Like, I could just see it being.
I mean, it's going to get into a lot of political things.
Yeah, or it could be political. It could be like road rage people, or like, am I going to be up there with people who hit their kids, And they're like, and here's Annalee to talk about mom rage. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it could have opened a lot of doors to be associated with different topics and folks that you don't want to be associated with.
Yeah, or I could just see it being like, and here's Annalee, aka Mean Mommy.
And you're like, what? You never told me you were gonna just title me Mean Mommy?
Yeah, like Dr. Phil.
I mean, they wouldn't, obviously.
Why do you hate your kids? And I'd be like, oh my God. Or like, when was the last time you screamed at your kids? Like, that's not what I need my appearance on Dr. Phil to be. Oh my God. It makes me sweat just thinking about it.
I mean, it was a cool opportunity, but I think as you got more information, you're just like, it's just not right. It's not your platform.
If they were doing a show on postpartum, sure, like that fits in. But when the entire theme of the show is why Americans are angry,
and they want to highlight you and your mom rage, you're like, no, I don't think so.
Oh my God, no. So yeah, I wasn't even. I mean, they were just still in the casting phase, but it's like, no, thank you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can talk about mom rage.
Let's keep it more lighthearted. We really went down a rabbit hole with our kids and traveling sports.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you ever get dad rage?
I mean, I think everyone gets rage. It's just sometimes it's like, so much is going on and you have to release your emotions somehow. And so sometimes it's just like getting mad or just being
But do you feel like it's been amplified since you had kids?
I mean, it's all tied together. Lack of patience, or just sometimes you have really good patience, and I'm so proud of myself when you do. And it's more or less me just like ignoring them. And then you're like, Ethan, did you check out? I'm like, no, I'm just ignoring them because, otherwise, my patience bucket will be drained real quick. But then sometimes you just have no patience. And you're like, why? Why do you have to hit your sister?
Yeah.
Why do you have to take things away from her?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And then I threaten to throw them in the trash.
Yeah, that works really well.
Right? That's all I got.
Oh, do you want to ask me about mom rage?
Do you want to talk about mom rage?
I could give like a 2-sentence thing because it was something that I was really not prepared for. And I don't think anyone talks about it. Like, it's not something that you talk about. You hear about postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. And even those aren't talked about enough, but there's no postpartum rage in there. And
is this a self-diagnosed? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I need to go to a therapist, but
Who has the time?
I know. I need to go. Actually, Barbara recommended someone who takes insurance.
Oh.
I know. Because the last time I went, I loved her, but she was $200 with no insurance. It's like, I can't be paying $200 twice a month.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Even though your mental health is worth it. But that's our grocery bill. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, insurance should be able to cover those things, or like at least be able to use like FSA or HSA.
Yeah, but that would drain our HSA, whatever. So I don't know. It sounds like you don't want to talk about mom rage.
It's up to you. I feel like, maybe we should go down a happier path, but it depends on where you want to take your mom rage. Are you just educating people on what it is, or are you kind of going to go down a rabbit hole?
I think that people okay, let me ask you this. Have there ever been moments in our parenting journey where you're like, holy shit, Annalee, you look like your head's on fire?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can't think of any on the spot. We should have talked about this beforehand.
I can't think of any on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's mom rage, but I know when like the TV's on, somehow the music's on, both kids are talking to you, I'm asking you a question, the dogs are barking for food. Yeah. I know you sometimes get to a point where you're just like, everyone needs to shut up.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and you're trying to ask me a question, and it's so crazy. I actually made a video about this on TikTok this week, and I had to delete it because all the angry men came out of nowhere. It's like, Jesus Christ, you guys. But I made a video just saying, when we're in those situations, I struggle and like my brain shuts down.
Yeah.
But you can really like compartmentalize, and you can still have a conversation with me when the kids are crying. And even if just one kid's crying, I'm like, don't fucking talk to me. Like, I can't listen to the words you're saying.
Yeah.
Because there's some kind of thing in my brain that's like alarms going off when the kids are crying.
Yeah.
But you can. And I posted a video about it, and all the dads were like, it's because we're better than you. It's because men know how to deal with our emotions. Like, all these, like, it's just truly a bunch of dickheads. And then one mom commented and was like, it sounds like your husband is another child that you're raising. And that's really inappropriate, immature behavior. And I'm like, because my husband, like, just... I don't know. I deleted the whole thing.
Sometimes
I was like, I can't deal
you just
with
got to
guys.
fit a conversation when you can, because you'll be in the car and the kids will be like silent. And you're like, oh my gosh, do we have 5 seconds to ask a question to each other?
Right.
And then like as soon as you get into the question, hey, mom,
oh,
dad. And you're like, hey, sweetie, daddy asked me a question. Can we have 5 minutes? Okay. Or like, I don't even know, a minute, 30 seconds. And then as soon as you say something in, hey, mom, it's like, seriously? So like we'll be driving in the car and can't even have a conversation because like
you can't have a conversation anywhere.
I know. So sometimes you just got to fit it in when you can fit it in.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Where are we going next? We should look at some of the questions.
Yeah. Okay. We can look at questions.
Yeah. I think we got to mix it up a little bit.
Okay. Did I
keep it fresh? Stay on the agenda. You can't stay on one topic for too long or people are just going to start zoning out.
Okay. That's fine. Well, I think
I got the questions open.
There's a whole bunch.
Yeah, we can just bounce around.
Okay.
Are we going to offend someone if I read their question? I'm like, I don't want to answer that one.
No, I'll probably just cut it out.
So someone asked
Wait,
about,
hold on. Wait. Okay, sorry. You can start.
so someone's asking about social media and how it affects your relationship, family dynamic. Well, I'm not on social media, so it doesn't really impact me.
Yeah.
But it impacts you a lot. You've had a tough couple days just with, sometimes when you get haters or mean things said to you, it just really impacts your mood, which, has an impact on us in the family because you're not getting the love and happy and feeling good about it. You're probably like, why am I doing this? People are mean. People hate me.
Yeah. It's been a hard few days, and it's. I don't know. It doesn't affect us too much because I don't film the kids. I don't make us do like family content. I don't do vlogs. I try to do vlogs sometimes. I just haven't done them recently, but I try to not do anything that affects our family unit at all. The only time is when I need Ethan in a video. And then I'm like, Ethan, I need 2 minutes of your time. Tell me, like when you're working from home, and I'm like, tell me what time during the day I can steal you for 2 minutes. And usually it really is 2 minutes outside of this.
Feels like 20, but anyways.
I know, but it is 2 minutes. But I think not filming our kids makes it.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of the stress off. But I am very, very affected by social media. If I'm getting a lot of hate on a video or getting mean DMs from people telling me that I wish I would just kill myself, I find myself taking that mood out on you and the kids a lot. So I try to think like, okay, if social media didn't exist, would I be in a bad mood right now? Like if I hadn't read those comments, would I be in a bad mood? Like, are there other factors? And if it is social media, then I'm like, Annalee, like you're being a dumbass. And I try to like set my phone away. I think I've gotten a lot better the past 6 months too, like not being on my phone with the girls. Like I will be on it obviously because I'm always checking. There's always someone to respond to, but I try not to just like work when I'm around them.
Yeah. I like it.
I try. I don't think it affects us that much. I think if we were a family creator, I don't know how people are doing that.
Oh, yeah.
You should see the things these people are posting. Even just like the challenges with their kids. I saw this one video, I might even cut this out, where they do like family pranks. And I'm just so not into pranking culture. And I know some people are. Some people find it funny, and I think little silly pranks are okay, right? Like little funny things here and there. But people are doing crazy things to each other. And it's like, how can you ever trust your spouse and feel safe around them when I'm afraid that any minute I'm going to walk around the corner and you're going to have a cake to smash in my face with a camera? Like it's insane, right?
I'd be mad. We didn't even do the cake smashing at the wedding.
No.
All right, next question.
No, because you know what? We agreed not to. And if your husband still does it after you ask him not to.
Good start to the marriage.
It's a red flag, yeah.
Next question. Come on, agenda. Stay on the agenda.
Oh, I was just going to say there was this one prank that this family did where the husband, in front of the whole family, it was like, my husband calling me ugly and like fat, maybe just ugly, to get the kids' reaction. Like which kid's going to stand up for mommy?
See, none of that makes sense to me.
It's like they set up a camera and the dad in front of the whole family was like, man, mommy looks really ugly today.
Sounds like psychological warfare.
Thank you. It's fucked up.
It's real
fucked
good.
up. I don't care if it's for content and you're trying to monetize it. Like, how dare you say that stuff in front of your kids?
Yeah,
even
crazy.
If they know that it's a joke. But so now they think it's okay to call mommy ugly just for a joke in front of millions of people? Ugh.
Okay, we're moving on. You're getting negative over there. Jeez. I'm reading these, but I'm going to be the judge and the juror. If I say no, we're moving on.
I have a lot of comments. Okay, keep going.
No, don't steal my thunder.
I shouldn't have sent you any questions.
How do you manage resentment towards the non-default parent? I don't know.
I don't know. Let me know if you figure it out.
We're going to a better topic.
No, that's a good question. A lot of people suffer with that. I sound like a pharmaceutical commercial. Millions of people suffer from default parenting syndrome. Can I answer?
I think it's always going to be mom initially for the most part. Like, right, because mommy grows the baby, mommy breastfeeds. Like, first person who smells mommy. For the most part, it's probably mommy. Just the data. I'm just saying what the data shows. And I think a lot of times that carries on through a young age, especially like if the dad's going back to work after 2 weeks and the mom's still continuing to spend weeks, if not hopefully months with the child. I think it's just the data shows mom's going to be the default early on. But like we were talking about this with our 5-year-old, I feel like we've gotten to the point with her where there's not really a default parent. I mean, maybe if like she's really scared or she gets hurt, she might want you over me, but sometimes she'll still come to me too. So I don't know. I feel like maybe different things might in her head trigger who's the default. But overall,
Yeah, but she used to be
well, yeah, I think
mommy.
most young kids are because of everything
Like
the
our
mommies go
3-year-old
through
is
and
in
do.
a huge mommy phase.
Yeah.
And it's really, really hard not to kind of hate you for it, even though
Maybe you resent. You're like, it's really hard not to fucking hate you. It's like, can we use nicer words like resent?
No, I love you. I love you. So like resent, to have some big feelings towards you, like what we say to our kids. You're having big feelings.
Oh.
No, let's talk about this really, really quick because you said this Thursday night. It's hard not to resent you, and I feel like as a mom in general, it's hard not to resent your spouse from the beginning because we're the ones that get pregnant, which is a big blessing. I love being pregnant, like blah blah blah, right? Like that's not what I'm trying to say. But my body changes, my boobs get bigger than my head. Like I'm the one that's going through all the changes, and I'm the one that gives birth, which like I love birth, but still like there can be complications. It can be scary. I'm the one that has to wear the diaper 2 weeks postpartum. Like all of these things that happen from the very, very beginning while nothing happens to you. So I think that resentment can build from the start, you know?
I still remember like after we had our first kid, day 3, nice December day. I was out there washing in the cars because I had 2 weeks off. I was like, this is a vacation. I got two weeks off of vacation. You came out like halfway through me washing the car. I had the tunes on. I'm just hanging out, happy as can be. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, get back inside.
I'm like, washing the cars.
Yeah. That was 3 days after our first kid. You just didn't know. And it's like, just because you are capable of moving around and doing things doesn't mean that this is the time for you to do those things.
I know. I still just think about that. It was so funny.
I remember it was like maybe 2 weeks after we had our second born, because with both kids, you took 2 weeks, at least a week off the gym with me because I'm not working out.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously you can still work out. You didn't go through birth, but you were like, I'm going to take the time off out of like respect to you because the gym is like something that we both love to do. And it sucks when I can't go do it. It's like a mental thing, right?
Yeah.
Says me, who maybe gets to the gym like twice a week now on a good week. But you were like, I'm going to take a week off. I'm not going to work out, and which is very nice of you to do. And then I think like week 2, you were going to work out, and I was home with our baby after our second born, and that was one of my mom rage moments where I like saw red and I was like, fuck you for going to the gym. Like, how dare you get to go do this? I'm home. I have a baby on my boob. I can't leave. I can't work out. I don't recognize my body. And you just get to go to the gym?
We should have scheduled our children for like summer babies so I could have played golf those 2 weeks.
I just hit him in case I haven't posted the video. But it's just really hard. And I think the only way that you can do it and to get through those moments, and even now with our 3-year-old where she only wants mommy at bedtime, middle of the night, it's like only mommy, is to communicate it to your partner. Because if you're just building resentment and you're not communicating it, then your partner's not going to know and not going to be able to adjust accordingly. So I think I tell you all the time how frustrating it is for me. I even said on Thursday, I feel like we're living 2 different parenting journeys, even though we're both here the same amount of time, you know?
Yeah.
And I think when I tell you that I'm struggling with it, you can try to overcompensate, whether it's, you know, taking the girls out for alone time, like you take them to a park alone, or, you know, you get up in the mornings with them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do from your perspective? When I'm like, this sucks. Like it's hard for her to only want me, even though it's like a privilege, whatever.
We need to try to stop giving snarky responses because I always think of like these comedic responses.
I know, but you have to remember that people on the internet like don't know you. People on the internet, they know, or the people who listen, like they know me.
Yeah.
You know, but you can be snarky a little bit. You can be snarky as long as you follow it up with like a meaningful, loving sentence.
The compliment sandwich.
I made a mistake of clipping one of your snarky responses from this because I thought it was funny. I was laughing. It was when you were like, gaslighting's not even real.
And it's a term someone made up like 5 years ago.
The comments were like, I can't believe he's gaslighting you about gaslighting. Like, what a red flag. And I'm like, I know, that's the joke, you guys. Like, that's what's funny about it. That's why it's a funny joke.
You have to filter because I don't know these people and they don't know me. But no, it's what I was going to say. It's hard this time of year because every day there's like an Avalanche or Nuggets game on.
Are you really talking about sports when we're talking about default parenting?
Yeah. Because like we'll get the 5-year-old down pretty easily. She's pretty easy. But then, you default in the 3-year-old wants you to lay in her crib or be in there with her, which, you know, as long as she lays down and she's not fighting you, you're, I think, somewhat happy to do. But, you know, I'm like, okay, well, I might as well get up. And if I got to clean up the kitchen, I will, or do a few things. But then I'm like, oh, yeah, the game's on. So I'll throw the game on. And that's part of it is you come out and you're like frustrated or resenting me because like, wow, you've been out here for 30 minutes just on your bum watching the game.
Yeah.
And I've been in there. But what I do try to do, and when I'm successful, it's great. I do try to go in there when you go out or she's asking for you and try to get her down and rub her and do things. The problem is it only works like 1 out of 5 times. Like once a week I can get her down.
Yeah.
And then I come out and you're always sitting by the door on the ground.
Because I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're
I'm
like
ready to
ready
help.
to like pounce. But like, yeah, so I try. It's just I'm only successful 1 out of 5 times. So I guess what I'm saying is I at least try, but there's still resentment because you're the default. You're going to be dealing with it 4 out of the other 5 times, and you're going to come out and I'm going to be just doing whatever I want to do because the kids are going to bed.
But I think we've talked about this before because we've had big fights about this over our 5 years of parenting together.
Yeah.
And I think this goes back to answer the question that you didn't even want to talk about. Now we're 10 minutes in. But if you're feeling resentment towards your partner, if you can communicate that, they can overcompensate in ways by helping you as much as they can in other areas. So if I have to lay with our 3-year-old for an hour at night, you don't just go sit on the couch. You go, like, you will make sure the entire kitchen is cleaned. You will, like, sometimes we pack lunches the night before. Like, you'll do your final walkthrough of the house. Like, you'll clean up dinner and all of that before sitting on the couch.
Well, yeah, I just won't sit on the couch and leave the kitchen a mess.
But people
and then you
do that.
come out and like, hey, babes, dishes aren't washing themselves.
Yeah. No, I know that you don't do that, but I'm saying like that's something that you can communicate and say, hey, maybe, and even the fact that you do keep helping with the default parent, you keep trying to step in. So I think it's just having a spouse who's willing to keep trying to help with the kids. And then if the baby, because some babies are just like, no, absolutely not. Like I'm only in a mommy stage, then it's telling your spouse, okay, that's great, but I need you to pick it up in these other areas and then you can feel more compensated for, right?
Yeah, like that's fair.
Like if I'm laying with the kids, like you better be fucking unloading the dishes.
But that one pan's got to soak for at least 2 more days. Let's get some fun questions in here.
You can scroll the whole thing if you want.
What, if anything, to outsource? Ooh, I love this one. We only have a few more minutes, right? Where are we on timing?
Yeah, that's fine.
What, if anything, to outsource? Everything. No, I mean, thankfully, as we've gotten older, advanced in your career, become more financially like stable, we've been able to outsource more. But I mean, early on when we had kids, we were still doing everything, like all the cleaning, all the yard work, all the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
I don't know if we really outsourced anything. And so
no, and I think this is just talking about like weekly stuff. Like what do we do to make our lives easier? Like where do we allocate money?
Well, the first thing is cleaner. So I'm just talking about
so we do pay bi-weekly for cleaners to come.
Yes.
Which is huge. And we stopped that for a while. We've done it on and off. Like we'll stop sometimes, based on financial stuff going on. Like that's something that we have to cut. But right now we have it, and it is really, really nice. Although I think everyone can relate to that panic before they come. When we're like pulling sheets off beds, we're tidying the kids' room because there's stuffies over the entire room.
Yeah, they're there to clean, not to pick up after you.
100%. Yeah, they're not maids. Like they're cleaners,
Yeah.
So we do that. We do grocery delivery.
Which forever you were trying to not do.
Because it's expensive. It's so expensive to do grocery delivery. So I want to do grocery pickup because I don't want to go in a grocery store. Like
We should revisit that offline a little bit more. Because I go in 2-3 days a week. I could easily one of those days just pick up groceries.
I would love to do that.
And meet you guys at home at 5:15 or something.
We can absolutely talk about that. That would be very helpful. Thank you.
I like it.
What else do we outsource? We do like meal plans every now and then. Like every now and then I'll sign back up for HelloFresh or Home Chef I just did. And I did just sign up for Factor meals.
It's just nice to like
paid with my own money.
It's just nice every once in a while, like get meals and be like, okay, you don't have to think about dinner.
It's just lunch. Like we're so bad at eating lunch and having food for lunch.
It's like, I don't know how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches I've had where
I
I'm
know.
just like, it's good. I like it, but it's like, that's not going to sustain me.
I literally
the rest of the day.
I have smoothies.
I called you yesterday and it's like, what are you doing? You're like, eating chicken nuggets. I was like, is that your lunch? And you're like, yeah.
Chicken nuggets and fries.
Well, I was thinking about lunch too. I was like, okay, I can go home, make some like breakfast tacos. Then I'm going through my little list of things that like I can put in there. And I'm sure like if I looked everywhere, I could find some beans.
Right.
Like, I can make something decent. I was like, no, I'm just going to go to the taco joint down the street and get some tacos. But yeah, it's just like, it seems like it shouldn't be this hard.
Right.
To feed ourselves for lunch every day.
But it's hard. So I paid for Factor meals. So I'm going to try that just so we have some lunch options.
That would be great because it's not. We're not going to take an hour out, and I'm not going to grill chicken during lunch. And
we need to meal prep, but it's like, what? I can barely make meals. How am I supposed to spend 3 hours on a Sunday meal prepping for the week?
I mean, when you get out of the kids' room at 9:00 at night, start meal prep. But
you want me
agree.
to dirty up the kitchen 9:00 at night?
Well, I know, but that goes back to like the outsourcing of it. Is like we love where we can. We want to outsource because that frees us up. That frees us up to spend more time with our kids.
Right.
But it's just a balance. I don't know.
Yep. No, I agree. Okay.
It's hard. All right.
Question.
Anything else? Because I got to go.
There's
what wet dry vac do you guys have?
Hoover. They sent it to us, and Ethan loves it.
Yeah, works good. All right. Well, you get one more thing to talk about before I got to bounce.
Okay. There's so many good questions. At least now we have things to talk about.
Time.
There's so many. I know we kind of talked about this before, and I need to ask you this in the beginning of an episode because I know that you're checking out. I can feel it. There's so many that's like
anxious.
How to keep intimacy a priority. How do you get out of the roommate phase? How many times do you fuck? Like all of these things. And we're not going to talk about that. I saw.
Just giving you the death glare over here. This is a family show for crying out loud.
How do you
PG?
How do you keep the spark alive when busy, parenting, and exhausted? I will say one thing about that, and then I have to say one thing to close, and then you can leave.
Do I just sit here while you wave that finger at me? All right, go on.
I think I saw my friend Christy Horton. She's pregnant with her 6th kid.
Ooh.
I know, insane. She homeschools, and her answer to that, how do you keep spark alive when busy, parenting, and exhausted? I think her response to that has stuck with me, and it's you just sacrifice sleep.
Oh,
like that. It's just something you got to choose to sacrifice, and that some days sleep is more important, but some days staying up 30 minutes later to connect with your spouse.
Yeah.
And to have a little is more important than getting the sleep.
Yeah, that's a good response. Okay, what's the other thing?
Is that all I'm going to get from you?
Yeah, we got to wrap up.
Okay, well then next week can we talk about how to stay connected?
Yeah.
I need you to come to the table with 5 tips on how to stay connected. Okay? Okay, the other thing that I just want to say is there's so many questions in here. There's a lot of questions.
You only sent me like 12.
Because that's just when I first did it.
Oh, okay.
But I should have just given you this whole list. Anyways, there's a lot of birth and labor questions in here. So here's what I'm going to do, because someone messaged me and they're like, when are you going to talk about your home birth? You've been saying you're going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my bad, because we've already been talking for an hour. So I think I'm going to record it this week.
Okay.
Like maybe Thursday on a day that you're home. Hold on. I'm not going to make you come in here, but then I'm going to ask you to come in here for like 10 minutes. Only 10.
We can schedule something
like
to talk about.
I'll do the whole story. I'll share everything, but I think there's some things that's like, I want to hear like your perspective. Like, why did we choose to do a home birth together? Why, like, how did you feel emotionally connected? Like, what did you think watching me be a goddess? Like, what, how did those things float in your brain? Okay.
I love it. I can do that for you. Anything else before I bounce out?
No, there's so many questions. We will continue to work through these next week. I'll just
we should just do an episode where we just go through questions. I mean, it's easy.
I know. I just don't want to like become reliant on that because it's like a crutch.
Oh, I bet we get 6 questions done in the 50 minutes.
La la la. Bark, 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 bark.
Love you, baby.
Couple of
Bye.
hens. I love you. Bye. Hopefully the audio was better this time. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review. Thank you so much to everyone who left a review last week. Holy crap. I told you I check them every day. Let me go find one really quick since I'm still sitting here. I don't have another meeting for 20 minutes. So la 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 la. I mentioned it earlier. Someone said I'm the father of a 5-month-old baby, and listening to this podcast is great for anyone trying to navigate the nuance of parenthood. I want to know who this is though, because they said I used to know Annalee back in college. That's what Ethan made the joke about earlier. Anyways, not just for the moms, so relatable. I look forward to doing the dishes every night. And then Looney Luna May, that's so cute, left such a nice review. Lexi left a nice review. Is that Lexi? Lex E, yeah. Sham Shank. I can't read that username. Michelle Bella. That's such a cute name. Anyways, just thank you guys so much for leaving the reviews after I asked. It really means so much. And I think that's it. You can follow me at Annalee15 on Instagram, TikTok, Annalee Grace 15. Along the Waves should be totally stocked. And I do have a big Mother's Day giveaway coming. I just haven't filmed it yet. So in true mom fashion, it's going to be a few days late. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.